Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. I'm still out here. I thought I'd do a little quick one because it struck me as really funny that the Democrats put Joe Biden, whatever the Democrats, Joe Biden's not making any decisions. The Democrats chose Kamala Harris as the VP pick. And I really think that they've programmed themselves and they've to think that it doesn't matter as long as it's female, as long as there's boobs and the color isn't white or isn't pasty white, then everyone has to vote for her. She'll win. And there's a couple reasons. I'm going to go through a really quick list of reasons why I think Kamala Harris may be a really bad idea for the Democrats, possibly the worst possible choice. The good part of choosing Kamala Harris as your vice presidential pick is that everyone who thinks that it is more important to vote for gender and color is going to vote for her. If policies, ethics, morality, police record, if none of that matters and it's just tits and skin color, she's a great choice. She is very much your best choice. But she comes with some baggage, and that baggage is unfortunate. Middle America, most of America knows. Okay, we know at this point that she got on her knees and performed sex acts to get one of her jobs. We know this happened. It's such basic common knowledge now that it's just a source of memes. The media won't touch it. The media won't defend it. And they will at some point in the campaign. They'll have to. But middle America, black America, America in general, we know this is true. We believe it. You're not going to be able to get rid of that baggage. It's not something you necessarily... I don't have a moral problem with it. I understand power relationships exist and you need to deal with them in a manner that suits you. And if that suits you, then fine, that suits you. She did it. And is that suitable for the vice president of the United States? That's what you have to sell the voters, and I don't think you're going to sell that. I think that's a big detriment. Number two, big, huge detriment, is her record. She did sleep with someone to get a job or got on her knees or whatever. And that job was putting black kids in jail for extended periods of time for smoking pot, which she brags about smoking while she was doing the job. She's not going to win anybody over with that. Like, if you actually care about justice, she fought to keep prisoners in prison so they could be used as slave labor for fighting fires. She fought to get kids removed from single black mothers because they were going to work and they weren't doing childcare or whatever the reason is. That, like, the solution to the problem, Black Lives Matter, structural racism for her, was to take kids away. That's not going to fly very well. There's a kicker to this. It's coming soon, all right? So this is a woman who, one, slept her way to a job, two, used her position to put more minorities and underprivileged people into prison for longer terms and abuse them or use them as free labor. That's not going to go away. The media can ignore it, but that's not going to go away. The voters aren't going to ignore that. All right. Number three, and this is one of those things where you have to realize this is the kicker coming in. Those first two things, they matter more because of who swings this election. Who swings this election? The black vote. I honestly think that the black vote and the Hispanic vote, but more, kind of both, but mostly the black vote, swing this election. All right? The urban whites don't care anything to beat Trump because they're programmed by CNN. Working class Americans, middle America, anti-establishment America, everybody else hates Biden. Like, he doesn't have quite as much baggage as Hillary Clinton did, but put him and Kamala Harris together, and that's every bit as bad as email server Miss Bleach Hillary Clinton, right? Okay, so that ties into these last two things. If the black vote swings things, then you're talking about trying to convince black American voters that someone who gets on her knees to suck it for a job, putting away black people in prison, is a good candidate. Whew. Not going to happen. Here's the third thing, right? She's fake. She is a person of color, which is a fake term made up to try to grant special status to people who aren't actually African American, black American, whatever, who don't actually have that inclusion in that structural racism, the society, the cultural, the baggage, the history. She is half Jamaican, half Indian, child of privileged immigrants. And that's fine. If she came out and said, hey, I'm half Jamaican and I'm half Indian and I struggled. I had my struggles. They weren't like your struggles in the ghetto, but they were struggles. People would buy it, right? The person of color thing would fly high. But that's not what she did. She claimed to be a black American ghetto child from Oakland. There's a famous line in a movie called 8 Mile, Marshall Mathers, Eminem, and he puts this line out at the end, chokes these fakers. Okay, they're posers. It's like, and it just goes, you ain't even from the 303. You're not from the hood. You're not from us. You're not of us. You're not really here. That's Kamala Harris. The black vote's going to swing this election, and she's a poser. Not going to fly, man. Reason number 4, Kanye West. Stay sideways. Have a good one.